A gridiron battle so big it's simply referred to as the game.
Second-ranked Ohio State, third-ranked Michigan, both teams undefeated.
My real name is Coleridge, so Cleridge. And then my middle name is Bernard. My last name is Stroud. My name has been CJ since I've been probably born. I grew up in Southern California, about an hour inland of LA.
Our family consisted of course, myself, his dad, and then his two brothers and sister. And then CJ is the baby of the family. CJ had a great relationship with his father.
He was my best friend growing up. Taught me about good, bad, ugly, sad. He was always honest with me. Introduced me to sports. He played basketball and baseball growing up, and I played those two sports as well, including football, of course.
They would go to Las Vegas, Florida, all of those circuits, and CJ would play and his dad would be with him. And then in football, he would be at every game.
He's always told me that I was special, always told me that I could be great, and it meant the world. I think it's one of the most important things to get your confidence from your father. My dad always told me I was gonna be better than him. He used to always make me write out a check for $1 million, saying I was gonna be the first round draft pick in whatever sport I wanted to play.
CJ's dad and myself, we married in 1997. But before I met him, he had a substance abuse problem. Around 2011 is when he revisited that substance abuse problem. We decided to split up.
He just stopped showing up, stopped being around the house, and stopped taking me to practice. And then I got a phone call one day out of nowhere, and he called me and told me he was in jail. I remember just after ending that phone call, I was angry. I was mad at the world. I was asking why. I was hurt. I felt like he betrayed me. He really didn't care about me no more.
You really don't know the kind of person you are until you are tried and tested. When your best friend is basically not there anymore, and now you're out there and all your friends' dads are there, but yours is not anymore. That really tested CJ.
My dad loved sports. I was like, I'm gonna go against that. I'm gonna do what he used to do and try to find my way in another way. Southern California, you have different avenues and different things pulling you left and right. I was just a kid at the time, really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I wasn't maybe always doing the right things, and I had a couple life and death situations that woke me up from what I was doing.
When you have a calling on your life, you can try to go any way you want, but you're always gonna go back to your original calling. That's what happened with CJ, and sports has always been an outlet for him.
My first practice at Snoop Dogg's All-Star team, just having that youth football kind of like brotherhood with some of I call my best friends to this day, show me a different way to live. I can really take something positive and turn it into something great, which was, for me, sports.
We're not worried about replacing whoever. We want to have the best 11 players on the field for the given situation that's occurring.
This defense is rebuilt. They're going to find who their pressure players are from the outside to replace Hutchinson and Ajabo.
I listened to the outside noise, and I feel like it fueled me. The main topic of conversation was who's going to be the next edge rusher. Michigan this, Michigan that. Michigan doesn't have a good edge rusher. Michigan doesn't have this. All the leaders left. Oh, Michigan can't do this.
And Mike Morris is there with another sack. They've been wondering about this pass rush. Where's it going to come from? Well, number 90 is answering that question.
It's the same thing over and over again. And people, I feel like at other places, at other universities, it's like, oh, they have this guy coming up, they'll be fine. Oh, they have this guy coming up, they'll be good. But at Michigan, it's like, they don't have anybody. It's like, we've been working just like them. Every offseason we go through the same thing. Every winter cycle they go to, same thing. So we're preparing just as hard as them, if not harder.
Mike Morris, their leading sack man.
I wanted us to be a group that would just, whatever the situation, have answers, be ready to thrive in any situation, whether it's good or bad, whether there's adversity. We have so many different players that have made plays in key moments.
Hit as he throws, and another interception. And guess who? It's Barrett again. And this time, Barrett takes it in for the score.
There hasn't really just been like, oh, we're counting on this one guy to go make a play. They have a goal to be the best defense as a group, not like I want to be the best player. Let's be the best collective unit, and the rest will take care of itself.
Intercepted. DJ Turner. Give me that.
We haven't yet to play a perfect game. We're due for one. We're a team that's still growing. We're still growing. We're still yet to scratch our ceiling. And when we do, definitely scared for the team across from us.
What happened today in the stadium was magical. That's one of the reasons why college football is special. It's one of the reasons why you coach, is to see something like that happen. Hopefully there's somebody out there that's going through tough times that can see that as a motivation to see someone overcome such great obstacles in life.
My story begins in St. Louis, Missouri. I went to a high school at Christian Brothers College High School. CBC is what it's called. Freshman, sophomore year, I was just playing football because I loved it, and it's just something I did since I was 8 years old. And then after sophomore year, started getting recruited.
I knew he was good, but I didn't know how good he was. Coaches kept saying, do you realize how good he is? And I'm like, I mean, he's fast and he catches the ball, and they're like, yeah, but he does things with his body that are not teachable. He does it naturally.
Going into his junior year, his publicity really kind of picked up. They did a couple local stories here, in St. Louis. And then, of course, anytime you get an Ohio State offer or some of those bigger schools, he had like Alabama and LSU, of course, then your name is really out there.
Ohio State and the culture, it just fit me perfectly, I think. I got up here, I just felt like it was at home.
He was rated in the top 100. He was an Army All-American.
Going into my senior year, the week before the game, that's when I tore my first ACL.
Right away, we called Ohio State, and I remember Urban Meyer called us right back, and he was like, oh, it sucks. You can't play your senior year, but we'll be ready. And he rehabbed all year, graduate in May, and then a couple weeks later, you go to Ohio State. So we dropped him off, and he was there, 2 or 3 weeks. He was doing really well. We had talked to the coaches. They said he looked great. His, he looked like he had really put in the work to be ready to go. And then, he called. I think he called Tyrone, of course, after the practice. He was like, I think I did it to my left.
Okay, I tore my ACL my second time. I got one on my right, one on my left, so it kind of balances out. And, now I can redshirt and, get in the playbook and kind of learn the system. Next year, I can just kind of take off.
After surgery, talked to the doctor for a little bit. He said everything looked great. 8-9 months, it'll be perfect. Sophomore year, he can redshirt. Like, it's not a big deal. It's okay. We got 1-1, we're done. I'm like, okay. And then he tore it the third time.
My third ACL was kind of when I was like, okay, I've had enough. It was after a drill, and I remember throwing my helmet down. I was like, man, I'm done. I'm done with football. I'm done with it all.
And that one was, the first two were hard. Like, I feel like it was hard each time, but that's the one that he called. He said, Mom, I'm coming home. He was like, I don't know that I can keep doing this.
I got to talk to my mom and my dad. I really decided, it's I still want to keep going. I don't want to look back and regret, what could have happened, what God could have done. Going into spring ball, feeling really good, practiced, I think the first 6 practices. And I get a little bubble route, and I caught a bubble and trying to make a move, and I put my right foot on the ground, and that's when I just feel it kind of shift again and pop. And right when I did it, I kind of knew what it was.
I will give him my knees. What do I need to do? What do we do to stop this? Because it's okay, how do you keep being positive? How do you tell your son to keep fighting for something that he's good at? But there's all this negativity. There's all the people saying, oh, is he ever gonna play again? Oh, Cam just needs to stop.
After the 4th ACL, he and I talked, and I said, "You sure you want to do this?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "This is my calling, to be a motivation for others."
I didn't want to stop playing football and 10 years down the line think what could have happened, what could have God done if I would have just kept going, or how could I have impacted guys on the team, or somebody out there that's going through something in life right now and they're struggling and it's hard. So I just knew it was much bigger than football, much bigger than me.
The definition of hard work pays off is just screaming when you see Mazi Smith.
4th and 3. They rack up another sack. Mazi Smith.
Look at him celebrating. He's put in the work to change his body.
When I first got to Michigan, I knew I had to get in better shape. I was 345 when I got here. I got with our nutritionist. We was lose all the fat, lose all the bad weight. I gotta build myself up and try to shape myself into the type of player I wanted to see. I think the sweet spot for me is between 315 and 325. All of a sudden you look up and compare the two, and it's dang, hard work pay off.
They've got the defender, Mazi Smith, I think 55 or 58 or whatever it is he plays.
The guy, it's 350 or whatever he is, yeah.
Yeah,
looks like a refrigerator, except he can move, yeah.
He looks like a refrigerator, but he can move. I feel like if a brick wall couldn't move, that's Mazi Smith. I don't know how you stop a brick wall.
Think about how much space a refrigerator takes up. Take a refrigerator and throw it down a hill as fast as it can. That's Mazi. A guy who weighs that much, is that big, going up the stairs that fast, it's how can you possibly do that?
You're not supposed to be moving that fast or being that skillful at that size.
I always prided myself being fast for a big fella. I knew I was strong, but I didn't know I was stronger than a lot of people like that, And I like being able to say I do things that other people can't.
Mazi Smith is not just strong, he's strong. And his numbers don't necessarily show up in the box score, but he owns the middle of that line.
Mazi's our nose tackle. It's not a glamorous position. We talk about block destruction being a core value of our defense. He is our block destructor. I go back to the Maryland game. It was a 3rd down. We called a defense where he got to move basically from the center, kind of shoot one of the A-gaps. He hit the guy in the backfield for a 4 or 5 yard loss.
and he's ambushed and taken down. Mazi Smith says, not on my watch.
He's just had those times where he's come up big in critical moments for us.
You don't work this hard for no reason. A couple of my coaches told me, you got a rare blend of attributes. Size, speed, strength, athletic ability, all of this stuff that can make for a real problem. Game record, somebody that you're gonna have to pay attention to all the time, somebody that's a mismatch no matter where you're at. That's where I'm striving to be. I don't feel like I've reached that yet, but I will. My recruiting was definitely tough. Kids around Southern California were getting offers in the 8th grade, and I thought I should be one of them, but I wasn't. And I went to, of course, Rancho Cucamonga High School. My junior year, had a good season, got some college offers. First offer was from Colorado. Just kept going, kept fighting, kept crawling, kept scratching to be better and better. I was scratching and crawling to get to the Elite 11, and I felt like they didn't want me.
This was something CJ'd watched on TV since he was little. The high school quarterbacks competition. There's the greats that have gone through that program, and most of them either went pro or competed at a high-level college. And it's hundreds of quarterbacks. And they narrowed that down to 21. And then they narrowed down to 11, and they narrowed down to the MVP, the winner of the competition.
I went to the regional camp in LA, felt like I did really good, but they offered Bryce an invitation. Of course, now he's at Bama.
Each of those camps, they picked other quarterbacks and not CJ.
Went back to the drawing board, worked harder. Then I went up to Oakland, got denied again. And I just kept putting hunger into me. And I just kept fighting, kept scoring, kept emailing, kept doing whatever I could, kept showing up. Felt like I did really good. And I remember the day of, it was the last day they were sending invitations. I think I was the last phone call, and they invited me to the Elite 11 to Dallas. I was like, it's over with. I was like, it's done. They done messed up now. They didn't give me the opportunity.
These out-throwing kids that are ranked so high, they're 4 or 5 stars. And here's this kid that's 3 stars. They put them in 7-on-7 teams, which was where he came in contact with Ohio State players.
I was on the team with G. Scott Jr., Julian Fleming.
He was throwing you dots, everything, on the money, leading the team. Like, this is just a 7-on-7, this is just a camp. And everything is just shining through, and it's like, wow, like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know, who is this dude?
As I started kind of getting a groove going and started winning some 7-on-7 games, just started to compete at a high level, and I can probably really do this.
They named him the MVP of the Elite 11.
I didn't know I was gonna win it. I'm not saying I was gonna win the MVP right off rip. I just knew that I was gonna show him something.
Our team ended up winning the championship in that 7-on-7, and on the way home, we're on the bus going to the airport, and I'm like, so, like, what are you thinking about, bro? And he's like, I don't really have that, like, many big, huge offers right now. He's like, I might stay in Cali. I'm not sure. I'm like, you got to come to Ohio State with me. Like, you got to come to Ohio State with me.
They called Coach Day and whoever they call, Heartline, whatever the case may be.
I'm like, you got to offer this kid. You got to offer this kid. You got to offer that kid.
And I was sitting there, like, listening, like, damn, it's crazy. They talking Ohio State about me.
We didn't know a ton about CJ. And then it started to pick up, and we started to learn more about him and understand, you know, he's a Rancho Cucamonga and the background and everything like that. And you saw somebody who had an edge to him.
To be the radio voice of Michigan football is a dream job. It's probably the best radio job in college football. And only 4 people have had it since World War II. Bob Ufer, Frank Beckman, Jim Brandstatter, and Doug Karsh.
We are so very fortunate and lucky to get that position. And people have called me the voice of Michigan football. I did play-by-play the last 8 years, but the real voice of Michigan football was Bob Ufer, and always will be. Bob took Michigan football broadcasts from the neighborhood and from Ann Arbor to the nation. He was bombastic. He would say things you can't say today, but in Ann Arbor, he was beloved because he said those things.
And they're tearing down Michigan's coveted M Club banner. They will meet a dastardly fate here for that.
Bob got sick in the early 80s. Frank Beckman was next in line, and Frank knew what shoes he was filling. But Frank also had his own style and his own approach. And immediately people took to Frank because Bob passed the torch. It wasn't like Frank took it. Let Frank run with it, and man, he sprinted with it.
Charles Woodson down the sideline. He's got to go all the way. Touchdown, Michigan. Save the freshman Howard.
When Frank retired, I was asked to do the play-by-play. I was walking into a situation that had been filled by two giants. And from my perspective, I was just trying to keep the seat warm because they had set the tone.
The long drought is over. Ohio State is vanquished, and the Wolverines are going to go to Indianapolis with a chance to win a Big Ten title.
Doug has been doing sidelines for a lot of years. He worked with Beckman and I, then he worked with Dan Deerdorf and I. He understands the importance of the broadcast. I think he realizes the position is huge.
It's an incredible honor to get to do this job. And I don't get nervous until people start talking about how few people have held this job. The broadcasters are woven into the history of the program. And that's an overwhelming thought. When I got the job, the two questions I got asked the most, one was, what's going to be your touchdown call? And my feeling was, I don't know yet. To the 10, to the 5, touchdown, Ronnie Bell. At some point, something's going to click and people are going to like it, and we'll just go with that. We're not there yet. The time will come.
There's a certain connection emotionally to this university and to this football team that Doug has. And I think that's part of what's unique about the play-by-play voice of University of Michigan.
The day that it clicked for me that the team has him the way he has the team was the day that I got the phone call about him being voted captain.
What's up, Ma?
Hi.
How you doing? So I just wanted to call and let you know. So yesterday, the team voted on team captains, and I was voted as one of the team captains. So I just wanted to call and let you know, and I just wanted to thank you.
For a guy that didn't even see the field to be named captain, just tells you what kind of character he has. He means so much to everybody.
The brotherhood and the love is real. All the practices, all the hard work, all the tears. I remember every time I've torn my ACL, just what the training room looks like and how everybody kind of just comes in and they wrap their arms around me with love.
When you have ACL surgery 4 times, that's 4 times where you go under anesthesia. That's 4 times where you have to be in recovery on crutches for a certain amount of time. That's 4 times 9 months of recovery. And it's one thing to say, it's another thing to actually watch and see someone continually persevere.
I'll be lying to you if I said there wasn't days where I wanted to quit, or I didn't want to come into the wood, I didn't want to practice, or I didn't even want to be in meetings.
It's hard to watch your kid hurt. And it's not ever that I thought that he couldn't do it or that he wasn't good anymore or any of that. It's hard to see your children hurt, and there's nothing you could do.
Seeing him play in high school and know how good of a player he was in high school and just not being able to show it because of injuries, that kind of bothered me right there, that part of it.
He wants to be out there. He wants to contribute, right? You go there to play football, and then when you're just in the training room all the time, I think like going to practices when he would be off on the side and the rest, everybody else would be over there. Yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? I think for him, knowing everything he's been through. So, those are hard. I'm gonna cry. Going to games and seeing him on the sideline, like you can see, because we know Kamryn, we can see he wants to be their first team, but he wants to be out there too, right? Like, so, yeah.
Nobody has ever torn 2 in each leg and ever played an actual football game after that again. At some point it was, he wanted to show the world and to everybody that has doubted him that he can play.
Mazi, he was born in Southfield, Michigan, and then we moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan. We visited my parents pretty regularly. My mother and father passed away when he was 8. Even now, I see a lot of my dad in him with his language, his thought. They both think outside of the box and make you think of things a little differently.
My grandpa, kind of a big deal. Where I'm from, he touched a lot of young people intellectually. You know, he was a role model for a lot of people. My grandpa and my grandma, they had a black-owned newspaper called The Organizer that they ran together.
My dad did a lot in the black community in Grand Rapids. His name was widely known as the person who fought against a lot of oppression. In 2021, a young artist from Detroit was commissioned to do a mural in Grand Rapids. She visited the African American Museum, and the photo of my father and his 2 comrades stuck out to her. It intrigued her to want to paint that picture.
When I saw the mural, it was like, it almost brought me to tears. Just understanding that he lives on through our hearts and through the experiences that he gave to people. It ain't a lot of things move me like that.
He feels that there's a purpose for that mural. It also lets me know that I was able to pass on a lot of my father's knowledge to Mazi. He will live forever in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he deserves that.
My grandpa always taught me real inspiration when it comes to civil rights.
Mazi told me about the trip to Selma, organized through the Big Ten for the Big Life series, so that they could have that educational experience and learn the atrocities that happened to Black Americans.
It's a lot of emotions that go through everybody when you go to somewhere like that. It's a certain feeling you get if you're really in tune with your surroundings. It's a certain feeling, a certain aura that place has. There are beautiful things that come out of hardship.
When Mazi speaks on that, I know he was listening to the things that my father had to say. They just have a way with words that is beyond me.
My grandpa always said, you know, yours in the struggle. I always say there's beauty in the struggle. Because if you look hard enough, you know, you see. I just think a lot of people confuse love for other things. And everybody just loving themselves a little bit more, things be better.
I can't comprehend why things happen the way they do sometimes. Kamryn Babb, we're going to keep trying to get healthy to get on the field, and when we get healthy, stay healthy. And I know he's putting forth the best effort possible. He's staying locked in week and week out on our game plan. I mean, he's doing everything a young man can be asked of him. Hopefully, sometime in the future, the opportunity will show itself. Can I put it into words what it'd be like? Absolutely not. I mean, I think the whole team, we get a sideline warning. Everybody get back, because I think the sideline would empty from the whole team going to go tackle Cam. So, you know, time will tell.
We hadn't for sure gotten the word that he was going to play, but he'd been cleared.
He mentioned to us that he might get some PT.
He said PT, and of course me right away, I'm thinking physical therapy. Right? Like, what is PT? Now where are we at?
Right.
Walking into the game, it was different. And I went around to where the wide receivers in that group warm up. Because I haven't gotten any pictures, any videos of him warming up in fully, suited up. And he was fully in uniform. I just, tears just started coming down my face.
It was the first time where I was really kind of locked in on a different level, I would say. I just treated it like any other game, though.
Is he going to get in the game? If he gets in, are they going to throw him the ball? It's been since high school that he has caught a pass.
I'd watch him warm up, run down the sideline for about 20 yards, and okay, it's coming, and still waiting a little bit, and then we see him out there.
When I started running out, that's when I kind of got a little nervous right there. My goal was just go play as hard as I could.
We found ourselves inside the 10-yard line. I think there was a stoppage in play and, brought the whole offense up. And CJ says, what do you think about trying to get Cam a touchdown? And I said, absolutely.
It was an out route on the far end, and we seen it coming. As soon as the ball went in the air, tears started rolling down my face.
It's Kamryn Babb. Knee injury after knee injury. And now finally gets on the field. And that was his first career touchdown.
I still can't explain it. It was just, this is pretty cool, man.
Man, I don't know the word for it, but just getting that love from everybody, man. I remember I hugged, Marv and Julian and CJ and all these guys, and just that. But that's when I knew, all the pain, it wasn't for nothing. That moment on Saturday had been in my mind and my dreams for 5 years. It was a moment that I'll never forget. So many people, hugging me and talking to me. He was like, man, your mom's looking for you, And then I just see her kind of, her crying and leaning over.
When he came over and he grabbed my hands, and for me, to see all of that for him, that was his moment. And nobody can ever take that away from him.
Coming in Ohio State, Justin was here. It was good for me to learn from him. I just had to be a leaning hand and be a leaning brother to him and try to follow him. That taught me a lot as well. But yeah, just kept scratching the crawl just to be a better quarterback each and every day.
Big question here with so many pieces back is what's missing, and that is Justin Fields. You got 3 freshmen vying for that starting quarterback spot.
They didn't recruit me early on. They didn't want me at first. They wanted somebody else. Looked at it like a challenge. It was like, man, it's like another Elite 11 situation where they deny me, but now I'm finna go show them what's up.
Here it's a pass into the end zone, caught for the touchdown. Great start for C.J. Stroud.
CJ came in right off the bat and got after it, competed.
He was just so accurate. He knew all the plays. He was prepared. So they named him the starter.
All of college football is waiting to see C.J. Stroud. Can he fill the enormous shoes left behind by Justin Fields? Stroud pulls it out over the middle. Intercepted!
It was tough. First half, I didn't play my best. And I looked at my phone. People telling me I can't wait till you transfer to Arkansas State. You should kill yourself, all type of crazy stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Watch this.
Stroud delivers down the field. Caught! Wilson, touchdown, Bucks! And that's a beautiful throw from C.J. Stroud.
That was kind of like my 2021 season journey, taking the good with the bad, and just really looking myself in the mirror. You're fine, CJ, you can do this. And I feel like we ended up having a good season.
C.J. Stroud, 5th touchdown of the half for Ohio State.
Impressive.
A lot of the stuff that I'm doing now is credit to my dad. As time got on, I started healing. Time heals, so I started forgiving more. So now, me and my dad's relationship is a lot better. I talk to him probably at least once a week, just try to fill him in on what's going on, and he gives me advice. And he tells me that I'm motivating him now to this day to try to make his life better. He tells me in there that they watch me on TV. One dude in the prison didn't think that he was really my dad. He was like, man, that ain't your son, dude. He was like, nah, that's my son. And so I called one day and I talked to the dude like, yeah, that's my pops, bro. Like, and they watched me on TV.
Touchdown pass number 6 for C.J. Stroud. We seeing a Heisman performance or what?
Last year went really well. He played so amazing. But then we did face a team up north.
And finally now, it's time to play the game because the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is a 365-day-a-year thing.
I knew that it was either us or them going to the Big Ten Championship, that this game had a lot riding on it.
Aiden Hutchinson drops Stroud at the 39-yard line.
Unfortunately, we didn't win.
It wasn't because of lack of effort from CJ, that's for sure. But CJ said to me, like, we should have won. Like, he takes all of the blame on himself.
For Ohio State, bitter disappointment. Their streak of Big Ten championships will come to an end.
It was just tough, licking your wounds and understanding, like, okay, we lost this game, and it's got to be another 365 until we got to play these dudes again. And I definitely think when that game comes, that'll be our motivation. Put Ohio State back on top. If that's good, ugly, sad, if it looks bad, it doesn't really matter. We just want to win. Some of the goals I've been kind of speaking to fruition is, of course, beating the team up north, winning the Big Ten championship, winning the Heisman, the national championship. Hopefully after that, everything will take care of itself.
I grew up as a kid in Ann Arbor really hating Ohio State. A big part of my life was Michigan football. My dad was a professor here. My family has had season tickets since the early 70s. I like to say I grew up right down there in section 17, row 80, seat 30 or 31. I actually went to Michigan State, but throughout that, still was coming to games here. Being a Michigan State grad, I do hear about it quite a bit from more Michigan State fans. Some Michigan fans give me a hard time about it, but I was a Michigan fan while I was there. I try to provide context to the Michigan fan, having grown up and understand what being a Michigan fan is about. The Michigan-Ohio State game is the best Saturday of the year. I've seen some great seasons. They're not forgotten, but they certainly feel like they get tainted if you lose to the Buckeyes at the end.
For Michigan and for Ohio State, it really kind of is the Super Bowl, because if you win that one, it's bragging rights for a year. And the bragging rights in that game mean a hell of a lot. For Doug to call his first Ohio State game, I instantly put the pressure on when he was thinking about doing this in terms of, hey, Ufer, Beckman, Brandstatter, Karsh. Like, that's a ton of pressure to begin with. Now, all of a sudden, hey, Michigan, 11-0. Ohio State, 11-0. Winner goes to the Big Ten championship. If J.J. McCarthy makes a big play, your call. You're going to hear it on every major network across the country, and then forever, you're going to hear what goes on in this game from the story that Doug Karsh is telling you.
Yeah, I better have a good game, huh? I will prepare, hopefully be ready. I don't like to practice anything. Whatever comes out, hope it's good. It better be.
The Journey Big Ten Football 2022 is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Please step right up and buy Ohio Stater seat cushion, only $15. Get it while you can. Michigan fans, this is your one chance to be on top of OSU today. Buy a seat cushion right here.
Go, baby! Ohio State, Michigan, D-game, program.
We got one word that we live by on this team, and that's fight. Every single day for 365 days, we're gonna fight. We're working in the dark. We let them talk, and how they talk, let them talk. But one thing's for sure, I wouldn't want to go to war with anybody else but these guys right here. These guys are warriors. You guys are warriors, and we need that today.
It's the game that everybody's been waiting all season for. Second-ranked Ohio State, third-ranked Michigan. Both teams undefeated. Both teams trying to get to the Big Ten championship game next weekend in Indianapolis and play the winner of the West.
For the fourth time, Michigan and Ohio State will meet as undefeated. The previous three have all gone to the Buckeyes. It's time to break that trend as the Michigan Wolverines have traveled here to Ohio Stadium on the campus of Ohio State University for today's season-ending showdown with everything on the line.
Let's go to work today, fellas. Let's go to work today, baby. All right?
Hey, they talk about locking the gates. Hey, I pray to God. I pray to God they lock the gates today. Because I ain't keeping up this without I came for. You understand? You all on the same page? Go now. Hey, those on three, those on me. 1, 2, 3.
This is college football at its best, and it's an opportunity for these players to make their mark on, if not the greatest rivalry in college football, yet maybe all of sports.
This by far will be the biggest challenge for this Ohio State offense, but I think they're ready for it. They've worked hard. They went up to Ann Arbor last year and took one on the chin. They remember that. Let's see if they can go out there and take advantage of some of that motivation they had from last year.
It is all hands on deck and full go every play.
Looks to throw. Throws middle of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Emeka Ibuka.
Buckeyes come out offensively right down the field that opening drive. And Emeka got wide open. CJ put it on the money.
This is an opportunity for this football team to respond.
Every player believes that they can win this game, and that's been the word spreading. This team definitely believes.
This is where JJ's got to step up and make a play.
Michigan trails at 10-3. JJ back to pass, heavy blitz, fires far side. He's got his man Cornelius Johnson. He makes a man miss. He's in the clear to the 50, tripped up. He's gonna go. Cornelius Johnson, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, CJ.
What a beautiful, beautiful moment for this offense. Who knows what this one means, but it's a great way to tie up the game and get some momentum for this offense.
Hush has settled over Ohio Stadium following the lightning bolt to Cornelius Johnson. JJ's got the snap. Play action, back to pass, steps up in the pocket, looking deep. He's got a man wide open. It's Cornelius Johnson again, John. He's in the clear. CJ to the 10, to the 5. Yes. One play, 75 yards. Touchdown, Michigan, and the Wolverines lead.
Oh, wow. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns for Michigan.
Wow. And a stunned Ohio Stadium as Michigan now leads 17-13.
So the Ohio State offense on the field trailing. 1st and 10, Ohio State to the Michigan 42 with 4 minutes to play until halftime. Stroud in the gun with a snap, sets up at the 50 to pass. Pressure coming, arches it deep down the right side for Harrison. Caught at the 5 and into the end zone. Marvin Harrison, touchdown on a 42-yard pass play. He caught a strike from C.J. Stroud going down the right sideline. Stroud to Harrison again, money in the bank. Well, C.J. Stroud just continues to rack up number after number, number 2 all time. And Ohio State TD passes now with 81 in his career.
This first drive coming out of halftime, Michigan, it's been really feast or famine in terms of these drives.
Michigan needs to establish something more consistent offensively here in the second half. 2nd and 10 for Michigan from their own 36-yard line. JJ keeps it on a quarterback zone read, and he runs over a tackler into Ohio State territory and knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 Michigan at the Ohio State 45-yard line. JJ in a shotgun. Back to pass, looking downfield. He's going to fire. He's got Colston Loveland wide open. It's caught. 15, 10, 5. The freshman dives for the end zone. Is he in? Colston Loveland, touchdown. And Michigan is back on top, 24-20.
Quick snap to Stroud, back to throw. Stroud looking, tosses out on the left side. Trainham has it at the 50-yard line, moves his way to the Michigan 44.
And Ohio State's got a 4th and about 6. And now they bring it on the punt unit.
They are. Boy, I'm surprised. This is, to me, 4-down territory with the way that this offense is operated. Hey, now you get a chance to possibly put some points on the board.
2 receivers split left, 1 split right. Donovan Edwards in the backfield. JJ's got the snap. Quarterback run. He's got a hole. Spins to the goal line. Is he in? Touchdown, Michigan! JJ McCarthy from 3 yards out. And the Wolverines extend the lead. Wolverines with 3 receivers split up. Donovan Edwards in the backfield. That's the snap. Inside handoff. Edwards, and he's got some room to the 30, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50. Can he outrun the Buckeyes? To the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Touchdown, Donovan Edwards.
They didn't need Blake Corum today. They had Donovan Edwards.
Ohio State, they've kind of entered a point where they need to score every possession. 3rd and 10 for Ohio State from the Michigan 16-yard line. C.J. Stroud marks some commands. Has the snap, back to pass, looking. He's got nobody, he's gonna try and run, and the Wolverines are gonna bring him down. The other hands the ball, is intercepted.
Yeah.
Intercepted. The Michigan defensive lineman down the field gets the interception. Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 3, leading it 38-23. 3:30 to go. JJ McCarthy in a shotgun. Has the snap. Hands it off to Donovan Edwards, and he's in the clear, John. To the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 50. They will not catch Donovan Edwards. He will score. Donovan Edwards.
Yes. What an unbelievable second half for Michigan.
How do we do it? How is it?
Michigan will improve to 12-0 and win the Big Ten East for the 2nd consecutive year. Michigan is coming home with a win over the Buckeyes. You've been listening to Michigan Football from Learfield.
People are going to say I never won a game, and I understand. People are going to say I never won a Big Ten championship, I understand. So, I mean, when it comes to that, I just have to eat it, man. It's life. Nothing's ever been easy for me.